Right, so this is reboot week. I was I was thinking this past Sunday. So I was thinking we would all come back to something a little easier, but I don't know if people are coming back. So anyway, my idea about the second week of that was that we just play the blues or over blues changes with the pattern from last week. So that's it's that pattern. The changes I'm going to use are just the simplified melodic changes that Barry Harris uses for beginners. So it's his are 1 dominant, 4 dominant, then 1 dominant, 2 measure, 4 dominant, 2 measures, then 1 major, 2 measures, asterisk. I'll get to that, and then 5, 2 bars. And then 1 major, 5 dominant. Okay, so he does something different in that 8th measure. So I could talk about that, but anyway, if I just played the pattern over those changes, real simplified, he puts the comping thing in a different box. So just understand that when he's talking about melodic playing and learning to play, he has a simplified for melodic purposes changes. So if I just play that pattern, that's 1, 4. Now the next one, 2 bars. So I could just play it again. Then 1, 5 for 2 bars. Then the turnaround, 1, 5. Okay, so I could do that. What Barry Harris does with the blues is he plays these scales up and down on the sections that have 2 bars of the same chord. So measure 3, he plays up and down. So up to the 7th. Okay, so and then down. So the second half of that is from the 7th, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you could use that as a simple basis for just adding a little something to these changes. So you could play the pattern for jazz, pattern for this week, up, and then just play down like that. So let's see. That kind of thing when you got 2 bars. So let me see if I could do that. Put a passing tune in between. I guess I could do it without that. It'd be easier to hear. Now that's the asterisk. When he plays the major descending on bar 8, he raises the 1 at the bottom. He calls it down to the 3rd of A, and then 5. So that's my pattern. I like to put, anyway, as I've been kind of practicing this on the blues, when I get to the top of it, you end up here. Now I just add the passing tone so I can go down. All right, so that's one basic way. So I'll add that in. Just got my guitar back too. So anyway, I had this thing completely taken apart. It's got an electro socket output jack. So that it's not always coming loose and pulling out every time I pull it out. So Anyway, that's why I've not been posting as much lately, so I apologize for that. But anyway, you can really could do whatever you want to do with it this week. The idea was just to spend a little more time with the pattern, slow down, and do something less overwhelming after those fourths patterns. I don't know, it's like everybody dropped off the face of the earth with those. So this is blues. Put the pattern in. If you want to get creative and certain bars play something different, kind of like what I was doing, that's fine. Barry Harris has got a lot of things you could do just to kind of work on different ideas. But if you know some of his stuff, I mean, I could do, let me see, I guess I could descend from the third or something. So here I've got an extra one. Let's see. You know, that's just... So that's just an idea. So that's something I could... Anyway, that one's not real good, but it's an idea. But I could just plug in whatever I like in a measure just to do something different. Be creative. If you don't like being creative, just plug one of those ideas in, and or just play the pattern. You know, play the pattern twice when you have 2 bars. I'll try to put those changes up. They're the same ones that Chris is using in in his first video on things I learned from Barry Harris. He's playing those, and you can watch his video. It's good. But what he's doing is dominant chords, and then up and down on the ones with 2 bars. Major down to the raised to the third of A, then 5 up and down dominant, then 1 major, 5 dominant. So 1 dominant, 4 dominant, 1 dominant, up and down, 4 dominant, up and down, then 1 major, up and down to the third of A, G dominant, up and down, C major, G dominant. So that's the blues.